In the letter of my support, August the 6th, 2013, her and I had a discussion. I also had a discussion with several community members who are here and who are not here. And one specific thing that she shared is that she assured me that she agreed to consider the needs of the community in her efforts, and she has full support to respect to alignment with supporting the needs of the community. She has failed to come back to the community since her purchase of this property to share with us prior to 3 days ago. Our commissioner, who we respect highly, failed to give us proper notice to be able to meet with the developers, get an understanding with clarity to share with her our understanding. She sent me an email, and several of us received it, saying that we needed to respond by 1 o'clock today. With a 2.5-day notice, who she didn't call us, we called her and asked her about the meeting. We had no opportunity. Based on the development of this project, the drawings is not a clear outline of what is actually present. And I can give everyone a copy of what we have summarized together collectively that comes in some similar alignment with what our commissioner wrote. And each of you can have a copy. This picture is not significant of what the property actually looks like. What it currently looks like. And based on,
excuse me, can we need to quickly.
I'm sorry. Can I say this really quick? And I'm going to make this really quick because it's impossible for them to go back to the drawing board if they don't know what our concerns are. The community impacts is enlarged for 16173. The study is requested for potential tremors, potential drilling, and ultimate cause of structure. Section 3 of 336, the applicant is requesting special exception that the harmony will not affect adversely to the use of neighboring property. Section 336 further argues that they will be in harmony. The adverse effects is the property entrance faces Mr. Mathis' home at 1272. The noise from the entrance and the breezeway that is proposed from their side entrance facing his side home, the noise of the rooftop, incoming and outgoing traffic from pedestrians and alley. Drawings are not accurate to the walkway space between existing home and property line, and the building density is too many units. We propose 3 to 6. Parking for the number of units, rooftop terrace, and balconies. Number 2, the property height is significantly higher than the attached dwelling. In the photo that's listed, this property is not as high as that. The property is significantly lower.
We hear you. Commissioner, we hear you. We hear the passion, and we think that given what we've heard thus far, and given Mr. Sullivan's willingness to ask for an extension, we think that there is an opportunity for the developer and the community to come back, sit down, hash out the issues, and hopefully get on the same page. We're not there now. We hear that. We hear you loud and clear. And thank you very much. So we're going to allow you to go forward and ask BZA for an extension. And thank you very much. Thank you.
But they're gonna voluntarily.
They're voluntarily.
We don't have to do anything tonight.
Next case, 1258.
Will we get that in writing that they
Or it's a part of the record.
Okay.
And certainly I would encourage you to follow up with your commissioner to make sure that you are satisfied that the will of this body here tonight to support you and your neighbors is actualized.
All right, thank you.
All right, Commissioner, you're on fire. All right. We like to see citizens who are passionate about their concerns in their neighborhood. That's good. Civic engagement is great. Will the principals for 1258 Holbrook Terrace please come forward? Thank you. you have the floor.
Thank you.
And please identify your, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
My name is Stephen DuPont. I'm the architect for this project. For context, this is the building that we will be remodeling. This is the neighboring building to the east. Across the street, you have buildings like this. To the west is all apartment buildings on both sides, basically. This is the alley behind the building. There's about 19 to 20 foot of drop from the front of the site to the back of the site. This is the back of this building. This is the side of it, and this is our rear yard. The project is located at the arc of Holbrook Terrace, near the top of the hill. The top of the hill is actually in the interior side of the arc. The existing building is a simple fourplex with 2 flats on either side of a central stair front and a central stair rear. These are attractive buildings from curb appeal, and when you first enter the apartments, they do have a problem though, in that these back sleeping porches always get closed in, and then the interior rooms are isolated from the outside. The traffic flow is a little bit awkward in them. They're a very common building type in DC. Our proposed project, this is basically the same building, just different floors. Our proposed project comes in on the side, enters here, and has a 1,250 roughly square foot 2-bedroom apartment with a living and a den, 2-bedroom with a living and a den, light on 4 sides for each of them, except for the cellar unit in the front because of the entryway. And parking in the back for 4 to 6 cars, depending on how big they are. The street in the front is here. The front 24 feet or so of the lot is flat. We have an areaway for these 2 bedrooms. And then from here to here, as I said, it drops almost 20 feet. The neighboring building is about to here. And south is in this direction, so we're on the north side of that building. This is a clearer example of how the apartments lay out. There are 8 apartments on a cellar and 3 floors. Here you can see how the grade slopes. You can see some of the foundation work. The complicated part of this project is in the ground, partly because of the slope and partly because there's so much stormwater management required for a project of this type. It's the new DC water and DC government approach to solving the Blue Plains problems, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Holbrook Terrace is here, the alley is here. You enter up a slate incline to a little bridge across to the front door. There are courtyards for these lower floor apartments under the bridge, and then you come down a series of terraces to the alley. There are bioretention, water treatment gardens in this area, and sand filters and things of that sort under the parking.
Mr. DuPont, if I may, given the time, 1, your project seems pretty massive. 2, we're just getting these plans, and we like the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the part about your comment just in the next sheet.
Okay.
The front of the building is here. The existing building is this tall to the ridge of the roof. So we're adding some to the height. Now, as to the massiveness, what doesn't show in this is the building alongside, which is right there. The approach to this project is, this slot is currently 3 feet. We're going to increase this to almost 10 feet. So this huge bulk will still be an unwindowed brick wall, but it's facing us. And we have the alley mostly to the north and our yard. So for the most part, our sun is not, our shadow will not be blocking too much. The neighbors are all apartment buildings down the street. And that's the issue
I
with
see
it.
your hand, Commissioner, and I see your hand, so let me, first open it up.
Oh, one more thing though. The only thing we're asking for is a little bit of height beyond the 35 feet. Otherwise, we're completely
What's a little
compliant.
bit
But
of
you
height?
didn't change your
4.2
application to
feet.
reflect that. So have you since reflected?
Excuse me,
put that in your
Commissioner
application?
Dumas. I'm going to recognize Commissioner Shropshire at this time, and we're gonna open it up for comments from the audience. Quickly, Commissioner Shropshire, did you meet about this issue?
So when I held my meeting, I addressed all three of these cases. So, Mr. DuPont came and actually presented on this as well and got community feedback, about the proposed project. And actually, I sent out all of these to all of us, in advance of our meeting today to your emails. So this isn't the first time that I've actually sent it out. And my question to you is, like you were saying, that the relief that you have, that you're requesting is a height relief.
Yep.
And I think that the BZA case reflects something different. And so, it reflects that you are requesting that regulation 336 applies to this.
Actually, it doesn't.
Right. And so I definitely would recommend that you amend the application so that we know exactly what it is that you're asking relief.
Right now,
Thank you.
I can clarify that if you like. The building was designed prior to the code change for R4 and into the permit department long before that. I didn't understand exactly how the code was working in the revision, and I wrote that initial burden of proof letter incorrectly. The only thing we're asking for is the 4.2 feet of height.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, let me come back. Commissioner Dumas and ma'am in the back, you're after her.
My question is, where
Very
the parking
briefly.
is that in the rear?
Yes.
Where the alley faces?
Yes.
And the entrance, is that a side entrance or a front entrance?
This is there's an entrance from both ends.
So what I'm asking you, does that face Holbrook Terrace or is it?
This is Holbrook Terrace here.
Okay, so it does not face Holbrook Terrace.
It does.
Yes, ma'am in the back.
Hi, my name is Amir Fasano. I just wanted to know, how much height are they adding to the building?
14%.
They're asking for 4.2 feet above the code requirement.
Above the existing structure?
The required.
I don't,
Add it all up, what's the number? Add it all up, what's the number? Yeah.
I don't know, something like six.
Excuse me, let's maintain order. Ma'am, you have the floor.
So I basically.
No, not even.
So
Let's go back to the cover. It's, because this building has a kind of a mansard on the front, from here, we're probably going up 7 feet or something like that. I don't know the exact amount.
Mr. DuPont, it seems like there's an opportunity to interface with the residents, to really go back and forth and to ask questions. Would you be willing to go to the BZA and ask for an extension? Because it doesn't sound like we're ready to vote on
Give me
this
2
tonight.
seconds.
And we need to move on very quickly.
I mean, we can go for sure, we can do the extension. If
Thank
need
you.
it.
Thank you.
I'll
I think that's in the
turn it-
best interest
Alright.
of the public and your project.
I think our alternative would be to keep it at 35 feet. We do have work around it, just so you know.
It would be, I think it would be helpful for you to go back and to revise your plans with both options and present them to the
Right,
public
so
so that
the
the public.
35 would be the by right, as by
Right.
right, or then you can say, hey, we want
And
another 4.
I'm assuming you will connect with Commissioner Shropshire so that you can set up timely meetings
Yes.
with your commissioners, with your constituents, to have your voices and your concerns heard. So I
Sure.
want to thank you
Sure. So is
for
that,
sharing that.
uh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
so what was the-
Sergeant Zabrowski and Sergeant Bellavance. And we have to move quickly because it's ambitious tonight, but
Yep,
go
no
ahead.
problem. I'll run through it. I'm gonna handle 506. He's gonna take care of 505 and 507. How's everybody doing today?
All right, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, thank you. In 506, this year we've had just 2 robberies that took place. The first one took place on January 4th at about 4:05 in the afternoon. It was actually a robbery pickpocket that occurred at 1265 4th Street. Lady was at the cashier paying for something, and two gentlemen came up from behind and slipped her wallet out of her purse. The complainant didn't call for at least about an hour later, so unfortunately it's still an open case, but it was recorded all on video, so hopefully we'll be able to close that soon. The second robbery that occurred was on January 9th. It happened at 1:12 in the morning. It was actually an Uber driver that got robbed. He responded to 1600 block of Montello when his client canceled while he was sitting in the block. Suspect entered the car through the rear passenger door, stated, "Can I get some money?" When he told him he didn't have any money, the suspect said, "Where's your wallet? I have a gun." No gun was actually displayed, but the cab driver gave him $34 in cash. Other than that, we've had no assaults with the dangerous weapons in the PSA during that period. We had one burglary that occurred in the 500 block of New York Avenue at the construction site. I believe it was just copper that was taken. Had 3 theft from autos that occurred mostly in the Trinidad area. Don't know offhand what items were taken, but it seems like 2 of them happened during the day work tour, 1 happened on midnights. And we had just 2 sounds of gunshots. One took place in 1700 block of West Virginia Avenue. That occurred on the midnight tour at about 12:36 in the morning on Wednesday, January 6th. And we had 1 sound of gunshot at 1263 Moore Street, and that occurred at 9:28 on Wednesday, January 6th as well.
Thank you.
All right, anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What was the big brawl in the 1400 block of Montello on Friday night? There were a lot of police in the street, people yelling, lots of cars.
This was Friday night.
There were at least, what, 8 or 9?
And I remember the call coming out. But
Yeah, I don't know what the original call came out for, but I do know that our CST, the Crime Suppression Unit, recovered a gun from the incident. Whatever the officers were for, and I'm sorry, I can't remember, but there was a foot chase that pursued. They ended up catching the suspect, and the gun was recovered.
Okay. Any other questions for PSA 506? Sergeant Bellavance?
Sergeant Bellavance from 507. So 507, there was 2 robberies. One of them was closed by arrest. It happened in the 1500 block of Gales. Individual was on his cell phone looking for directions. Somebody came up behind him, said, "Give me your phone." He said, "No." He said, "Give me your phone." They got into a little argument, and then the individual ran off. It was a juvenile. He was apprehended in the 1300 block of F Street. So that is a close case. The other one happened in the 1600 block of Maryland Avenue. A juvenile individual was walking home. Some people tried to get his tennis shoes from him. There was a little scuffle that ensued. They were successful in getting his shoes. The only lookout we have for them is 3 black males, all 3 of them wearing ski masks. A similar incident took place 2 days prior to that, Thursday, in Starbucks Plaza down on Benning Road in Bladensburg. An individual got off the bus. He was confronted by 3 individuals wearing ski masks. They said, "Nice shoes, where'd you get them?" The individual, of course, knew what they were getting at. He tried to run. The 3 individuals caught him. They assaulted him. They did not end up getting his property. However, he did sustain a broken foot from the assault. So it's sort of it's a disturbing trend that was happening in the past, how they were going after certain shoes. Both of these cases were the phone posits again. So that's something to be aware of. Again, like always, be careful when you're out there talking on your cell phones, using your GPS navigation. Just be aware of your surroundings. There was 2 assaults with dangerous weapons. One of them was closed by arrest. Arrested was a juvenile female. In that case, it was a 2000 block of Benning Road. The 2 individuals knew each other. Somebody owed somebody some money. She said, "Give me some money." The other person said, "I don't have it." She pulled out a stun gun taser and tased the individual. She was later arrested. We've had 3 burglaries. And I'm sorry, I don't have the stats to compare them to the previous 10 days, so I can't say off the top of my head if that's up or down.
Just a quick question. Any updates on the AEW at Aldi or the robbery, I guess, what was considered at CVS a couple months ago?
I would have to talk to the detectives about that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
My name is Commissioner Bernice Blacknell. There were 2 incidents in my SMD last month. One was on 19th and Bennett
Okay.
with a, man,
The shooting.
the shooting, and I understand the man died. Is that an open or closed case?
That is a closed case. They had a known individual they were looking for a while. They put out the warrant and he was apprehended about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, the other one was on the 700 block of 24th Street.
Okay.
It was inside of a house. It was in reference to drugs. Was that an open or closed case? Because I understand one of the victims had died.
That one I'm not sure of.
I believe it's closed.
Yeah, I think
I believe it's closed. If I may, we, in the interest of time,
I can try.
ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, especially for those of you that are my constituents, the MPD has been doing a fabulous job. I'll be actually putting out a report, a detailed report of all their arrests. They've been closing cases. They're not gonna tell you how much I've been pressuring them to step it up. They have stepped up in a way that is actually fabulous. You should be proud of the work that they're doing. Sergeants, I had the pleasure of attending Mayor Bowser's press conference on the homicide rate. They're rocking and rolling. Our community looks better. The best is yet to come. There's more coming. And January 19th, 5D court watch meeting here, 7 o'clock. We had 2 community impact cases where we came together at the December meeting. We wrote community impact statements for individuals. One was a juvenile, a summer youth worker who was robbed of his summer earnings. Because of our community impact statement, the judge threw the book at him because this individual, and according to Kendra Briggs, our assistant U.S. attorney, that individual would have likely gotten parole. So we're really working well together. I want to thank you all and your colleagues. You all are rocking and rolling, and I really, really stay on them to really step it up, and they're doing it, and I really appreciate that. Any other questions before we move on? Commissioner Bucks, quickly.
Can you just give me your name for the record, please?
Sergeant Bellavance,
First name?
Dustin D.
Okay.
Okay, we're trying to make sure that, okay. All right, any other questions, ladies and gentlemen, from the audience? Quickly, treasurer's report.
So I'm actually, moving to approve the ANC5D Q1 fiscal year 2016 quarterly report.
Second.
Discussion. Very quickly, the DC auditor initially withheld, I believe, $4,082 from our allotment, and that was because Commissioner Lee signed the quarterly report when he should not have. He was told not to. I had to go down to the DC auditor's office and sign the report again. I hope going forward we don't have to deal with that, and the proper signatures will be reflected on the quarterly report. It's any other discussion?
So the funds that you're
They've been
indicating
restored.
have been, restored to our account.
Yes.
And they have not yet been deposited into our account, but our balance is currently $61,295.86.
I received a letter indicating that those funds have been restored, and I expect that the treasurer has received a similar letter from the auditors.
Thank you.
Okay, so moved and properly seconded that we accept the treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? There's one abstention. Motion passes. Okay.